Their Majesties would call before them Nastassiia Ivanova Medvedeva.
Your Majesties, it is my pleasure to present to you a warrior of the East, a scholar of the East, and a servant of the East. She is your Lieutenant General of Combat Archery. She is your Seneschal. She's a companion of the Order of the Manche, a companion of the Order of the Silver Crescent, companion of the Order of the Silver Mantle, a Baroness of the Court of Brion III and Anna III, holder of the King's Cipher of Brion II, holder of the Queen's Honor of Distinction of Aikaterine. She is Nastassiia Ivanova Medvedeva, your humble servant, here to answer the question before her.
Your Excellencies.
Good afternoon. It is a lovely, bright, sunny day, which is a stark contrast to the dark evening when we began this journey and sent you away to contemplate joining an order. Perhaps we should be joined by that order before we receive the answer? I believe we should.
Their Majesties request the presence of their companions of the Order of the Laurel.
Companions of the Order of the Laurel, would you please join us in court?
Shall we hear some people before she gives us her answer? That would be fantastic. Is there a member of the Order of Chivalry that would speak on behalf of this candidate?
Majesties, I am Duke Brion Anthony Uriel Taragon, and it is my privilege and pleasure to be able to speak this day for Tasha. I've known this lady for many, many years in many different capacities. She is very, very worthy of this recognition, in my opinion. But I would speak on behalf of the chivalry because of the combative and ways this lady displays prowess that assists our kingdom and assists the people of our kingdom choosing to pursue these arts. Because the arts extend beyond just those of paper and pen and sewing and the many wonderful things that we do in this kingdom. There's also the arts of combat. And she has shown herself to be a proud and a very active individual with this regard with our combat archers. I would commend to you her ability to be valorous and chivalrous and wish her the best in terms of this recognition which she very much deserves.
Thank you, Your Grace.
Thank you, Your Grace. Those words of encouragement to hear of her exploits is much appreciated. Is there someone from the Order of the Pelican who will speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties, I am Eleanor Fitzpatrick, companion of the Pelican, and I would have that honor. This lady and I grew up together in the society, in a household dedicated to service. No matter what our other passions were, whether it be equestrian, art, combat, archery, the core of our household always seemed to be service. This lady exemplifies that. She serves as naturally as she breathes. As soon as she learns a new skill, she turns to share it. And that is a Pelican. To give of yourself to better everyone around you, that is the essence of a peer. And this lady embodies that. I commend her to you, and I am so very pleased to see you in this position. My sister.
Love you.
Love you too.
Well-spoken, powerful words of support. Is there a member of the Order of the Rose that would speak for this candidate?
There is, Your Majesties. I'm speaking on behalf of Countess Marguerite, who could not be here today. These are her words. I bear the words of Countess Marguerite, Ingen, Lachlainn, who will speak for the Order of the Rose. Great councils, honored peers, and beloved members of the populace, I have always been impressed with the strength and resilience of Nastassiia Ivanova Medvedeva. She inspires me. She is, in all senses, a weaver. Her art, obviously, but also she is able to see the threads that tie us all together. The yellow of learning, the red of passion, the dark colors of loss, the bright, beloved threads of fellowship and hope. When you ask her if she will make you trim, you may discover she has given you her friendship too. Her attention to these threads is always at the service of our society as a researcher, in the seneschalate or on the battlefield. Councils of the East, people of the East, I commend Tasha to you. I am honored that she is my friend and that we are now formally recognizing her as the peer she has been for a long time. And for myself, Tasha, one of the qualities that I admire most is generosity. And you have always been very generous with your time, with your expertise. And these are qualities that I, as a Lady of the Rose, find very admirable. And I am so glad that you're being recognized today.
Thank you so much, Your Grace.
Thank you, Your Grace. Those are great words that you have conveyed from Her Excellency. Those are well spoken. Is there someone from the Master of the Order of Defense to speak for this candidate?
Your Majesties, I am Maréchal Remy Delamontagne de Gascogne, member of the Order of Defense. My apologies for not being able to be there in person with you all. However, I am thrilled to have the honor of speaking in favor of Tasha. I want to speak of Tasha outside of the SCA for a moment, but I promise it'll make sense in the end. I first connected with Tasha through our mutual love for fitness, sharing our favorite exercises, strategies, and other shop talk. We eventually had a chance to work out together. We were nearing the end of our legs routine when I had the brilliant idea of having us do some walk-in lunges, an exercise which can be incredibly taxing when you're feeling fresh, but especially challenging at the end of a long workout. I led and Tasha followed. She struggled with it, as people often do at first, so I asked if she wanted to do a different exercise instead. Something a little less challenging and something, maybe a little easier. My lord, the look of daggers Tasha sent my way for suggesting we take an easier route. Her look said it all. She would take this challenge head on, and she would do it with the utmost determination and perhaps a little dose of humility in the process. And she struggled with the exercise. Every ep in each set was a trudge, but she did her best. She battled. She gave it her all. In the end, despite several choice words thrown in my direction, she knew she was better for the experience. Trying one's best is always worth it. Tasha brings the same energy into the SCA. She makes beautiful garments from scratch, and I mean by scratch. Sewing, weaving, leatherwork. If she can find a way of doing a piece of her project by hand, she'll do it. The amount of love, effort, and energy she's put into her craft is awe-inspiring and well known to all those who seek mastery in their own fields. She's also an amazing ambassador for the combat archery community, introducing the martial art to new and veteran fighters alike, going over the basics of being a combat archer, getting folks geared up in armor, suited with bows, and generally making people feel welcomed and at home. Tasha researches, she learns, and she shares. Her class handouts are some of the best I've seen in terms of organization and getting a lot of info across in a very small amount of space. And her blog posts are treasure troves of knowledge and experience, and full of humor, and of course a lot of personality. Tasha embodies the benefits of seeking out things that challenge us, things that take us out of our own comfort zones so we can expand our experiences and grow our knowledge and skill. This curiosity, this thirst for a challenge and seeking to grow is a pillar of all peerages. And she approaches the challenge of her art like she approached those walking lunges at the gym, with stalwart determination and humility. Your Majesties, Tasha is strong, she is caring, and she is hella knowledgeable. And I'm thrilled to see her recognized for all those qualities in her work and elevated to the Order of the Laurel.
Thank you for carrying those words, Your Excellency. A lot of perseverance in this candidate. That is for certain. Is there a member of the Order of the Laurel that has words for us.
There is, dear councils, and thank you so much for letting me come as a guest and speak. I'm in my lands in Ethelmark. I was outside to show you our beauty, but unfortunately, I do bring a little bit of a warning. In about 12 hours, you may see some precipitation. My dear Tasha, so a million hundred years ago when we met, I adored you and you tolerated me very, very nicely. That was lovely. And then we grew in friendship and also in our art. And I see you spread the joy of perfect tiny stitches on a beautiful straight seam, sewn with thread that you created by your own hand. And I see the beauty in it and I love it. And you share your knowledge, not only when someone is right next to you, but also through the known world online. One of the things that gives me great, great joy is seeing somebody bumble. And then another person starts to react more coarsely than they meant to. And you step in and bring peace. And also, as you're bringing the peace, you're bringing just a little bit more art. It's a joy. It is a joy to play with you. And I cannot wait to embrace you as my sister in the order and play string games with you again. Dearest consuls, I highly, highly recommend this lady to you.
Thank you. Thank you for your words. Thank you for your warning of what may be coming. I think we might have heard a little bit of it rolling through. We should move along while the sun is still shining, the day is still beautiful. Having heard words of support, but before hearing an answer, it is important, Tasha, that you stand before us released from any bonds that you may hold now. So, Audrey, if you will.
The consuls of the East would invite before them Duchess Anna Ophelia Taragon.
This is a moment that I have looked forward to and dreaded for a really long time. Watching you grow has been a delight. Your courage and persistence has inspired me. You are determined like I have never seen anyone be determined before. I honestly don't think there is anything that you cannot accomplish. And I mean that sincerely. I think if we told you to move barns, you would figure out a way to make it happen. Yeah. So at this time, my sweet, you've learned the rules, you've created your own, and it's time to release you and let you be your own person and grow even more. But just remember that this is just a step. This is not the end of the journey. This is honestly where it begins. This is where the work starts. And you will accomplish many more great things. I love you, sweetie.
Thank you. Thank you for loving me and accepting me, nurturing me, trying to guide me. I said trying to guide me. You had at one time offered to release me, and it made me cry. And it's still making me cry, even though this is for the best reason. I know that I can always call on you, and that I'm always going to be your girl, and that makes me so happy. So, I made this belt to honor you and our relationship, so here we go. But wait, there's more. Oh, God, no. I also made bead swags that have a peacock on them, and polar bear, and wolf. The peacock is obviously you. I mean, the polar bear is me, because I got polar bear, or a polar bear. The wolf is for my late husband, Wolfie, who would be super proud today. So, I have a green one somewhere. Here's one in black and white, in my heraldic colors. Hang on to it. Put it someplace nice.
So, what is rule number 1?
Accessorize, accessorize, accessorize.
See, I changed you so well. But one needs a place to put one's accessories.
Okay.
You do this to keep all your bling in.
Oh my god.
And that says, all beautiful things.
It really is. At least as far as my dresses. Thank you so much. This is amazing. I love it.
Okay, consuls want to see. Thank you. Very nice. Whoa.
Amazing. And I love it, and I couldn't be happier. Thank you. Okay.
All right.
Now that you have been released, we would like to hear your answer.
Your Majesties, I'm pretty sure you knew what I was going to say back when you gave me the writ, but for the record, yes please. I would be thrilled and honored to become a member of the Order of the Laurel.
We are very glad that you said that. Thank you. That is the answer I was hoping for. Our Order of the Laurel becomes stronger today. Is there a medallion that might mark this lady so that others might know of her skill?
This line given to Duchess Anna, so she wanted to wear.
Oh my goodness.
Is there a legacy to this
There's
medallion?
another one.
Looks like there's another one right here.
Excuse me.
This one you can hang from your brooches because it will go over your head. I bought that several years ago at Penzig from North Star Armory, and I was waiting for the right person to pass it on to. And I can think of no other person than you.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you
welcome.
very much, Mistress Pagan.
Is there a shawl?
So a long, long time ago, you said you wanted this on your shawl. And I was looking for the right time to do it.
Wow.
And I hope it meets with your approval.
Oh my god.
That's so awesome. Oh, I love it.
Is there a wreath?
A long time ago, I was able to give you some present.
Now, well adorned with the trappings and the regalia of a laurel, we will hear your oath.
Your Majesties, din haken, ich din here I Cesare in Inskerlu, pit through fasta vitfang. Ik zet die snijlde, with nas ognalfi fartazer, bogimin arthin askipa. Ik moet geven raad, minster staklige, teger thad ifik athera. Frensem e lofa. I moet eki viljandi takasat, I atverdi mila landa antes as hafasambad first eg sit nima sad se afindi til ad hunsapath. E mon iki gripa til våpnage, krununi I Oosterlundum, og jeg lover sterklega at skråta deg ikke I anvittig, I barde gai finum, oftar indvisar I herveri at burdas, giljandi. Og fyrir Oosterland, fyrir thotsina, muna hai strid, I mun schraven list, og I mun komme med glæde. If I fra derfor getter retfærdighed, ikke mig. Så I say, Tasha Medvedeva, Larberer Canari. Once more in English. Your Majesties, I stand here in this driveway, your faithful subject. I put a shuttle, a loom, and a needle at your feet. My bow is yours to command. I will give my advice, especially when it is difficult to do so. 3 things I promise. I will not purposely engage in an interkingdom incident without first contacting you, unless it's too funny to ignore. I will not take up arms against the Crown of the East, and I especially promise not to shoot you in the face during fighting practice more than twice in each scenario. Intentional. And for the East, for its people, I will wage war, I will create art, and I will bring joy. If I am forsworn, justice can take me. So say I, Tasha Medvedeva, Laurel of the East.
I, Alberic, hear your words and know them to be fair, true, and honorable. I, Tyndall, trust in your arrow eyes to guide us with your counsel as you guide a needle through fabric, to stand before us, making our kingdom more joyous, more beautiful, and better protected for the range of your influence. You have a place at our hearth, you have our protection in times of peace and war.
Until the crowns pass from our heads or the world ends, so say I, Albert von Rostock,
And I, Magnus Tyndall,
Consuls East.
Spindle drops, wool falls twisting, thread for mending, smock long worn. Candlelight shines, reflects off gold, stitches so small, no shadow cast. Hands turn warped cards, shuttle pass well, twine silk rose, band grows long. Threaded knoll binds, band to smock, brooch carried beads match eyes of fire. So does our Nastassiia, Ivanova, Medvedeva create delight. Thus do we, Council Tyndall and Council Alberic, Eastern sovereigns, do elevate her to our Order of the Laurel, with arms by letters patent, sable, a bare sergeant erect atop a mount, and in chief 3 escarbuncles argent. Words by Maheen Banu Tabrizi, scroll by Catherine Stanhope. People of the East, for Canari, Tasha, Vivat! Vivat! Vivat!
and if you wish, please group your order.
Somebody help me!
Later!